and they're playing you. And it's all tied to Seth Rich, too, as well.
Yeah, how does this tie to Seth Rich, fam?
It ties because the same people who are out there, and let me tell you something. First of all, when it comes to Seth Rich, I hate the fact that we've had this coordinated attack now from the media. Cuomo comes out, and it's the virtue signaling. How dare you question this? The New York Times, the LA Times, fam, they're almost convincing me that Seth Rich was whacked right now because they're so defensive about you even talking about it.
Yeah, and you remember how you were even scared to mention it? And
I was.
And a lot of people have been scared to mention it because then it puts a stigma on you. And I'm like, no, this is all part of the same thing. This is all connected, just like everything in our politics is connected. Everything in here is connected.
Yeah,
so.
It's this. Could we play the Joe Rogan video? I think we should just play.
Yeah.
Real quick. I mean,
who is a real Bernie Sanders supporter, open Bernie Sanders supporter who worked for the DNC. The DNC absolutely rigged the primary against Bernie Sanders. He was aware of this. He was there while this was all going down. So was Donna Brazile. Everyone was aware of it. The guy got fucking murdered after he leaked information to WikiLeaks. If you don't think that's a little weird, what are you looking at? What delusional rose-colored glasses are you looking at your party from? You think you're in some Julia Roberts movie from 1990? This is real shit. Some guy got killed. He was 24 years old. He was a young guy who was very optimistic and had this view of the world where the guy fucking wore American flag pants and shirt. There's a famous picture of him with a beer on. He's a patriot in a lot of ways. He wanted to be involved in the political process. He was very idealistic. He was probably shattered by finding out that the party that he was working for was corrupting the democratic process. And because I've said this before, I've been accused of helping Donald Trump win by really wacky people online. Like, by pointing out all the flaws of Hillary Clinton. Like, look, man, you can't ignore that shit because you want one side to win. I've talked about all of his flaws, too. There's a lot of flawed human beings that run for president, pretty much all of them. I mean, it's very rare you have someone who's not flawed.
Right.
We're extremely flawed. We're all flawed, but extremely flawed who wants to be the fucking king of the world. It's very rare. Listen, man, I'm not a fucking reputable person.
That's what I try to tell
my
people.
Political ideologies. I mean, I'm just not. I'm not that well read when it comes to politics. I have my opinions on things, but when it comes to things that are rock solid and clear, like that Seth Rich was murdered and people want to ignore it, I'm like, what the fuck do you think happened? There has to be some sort of a disconnect here. When a person is giving information to WikiLeaks that exposes corruption inside the very organization that's responsible for the fucking Democratic Party, and he gets murdered, and you're like, oh, the conspiracy theories. No, he got murdered. There's no conspiracy. It was a botched robbery. Says who? Says who? Where's his? How come his wallet was there? How come his watch was there? How come they didn't take his phone? What the fuck are you talking about that I'm a conspiracy theorist when I just tell you the facts? So and this WikiLeaks thing with Julian Assange is the craziest shit ever when he said there's consequences to sharing information with us. And everybody's like, he works for Russia now. He works for Russia.
So
he was the darling of the left when Obama was in office.
So
Do you
isn't
remember?
that amazing? So Julian Assange, he's just a great news guy who's tough as nails.
Who dances creepy and might have fucked some girl while she was asleep. Whatever. He can't leave. He's stuck in the Ecuador embassy
By the
forever.
way, that case was so fucked.
So fucked.
So fucked. He's been so fucked, and it's because the CIA wants him so bad, and they control everybody. And now they have influence over Ecuador, and they're trying to fuck. They're trying to get a Halliburton guy to be their new. Anyway,
they might just blow up that place. The gas leak.
No doubt, right? I wouldn't be surprised if shit like that happened.
If more stuff comes out, like the Seth Rich stuff, the amount of people, and this is where I leak any conspiracy theories. The amount of people connected to the Hillary Clinton organization, to the Clinton Foundation, to Bill Clinton, the amount of people that have been iced is stunning. But some of them are bullshit and coincidental, and people, and they're in a weird job, and people get killed. There's a lot of people that have been killed. A lot.
Thank you, Joe Rogan, for saying that stuff. It needs to be said, and that's what the Epstein case did for me. It triggered me. Nico called. He said, Pasta, did you just speak this shit into existence? And I'm going to be honest, I was afraid to talk about this stuff.
He was.
This little lion over here said, no, Pasta, we're going to go out and talk about this. Right, Johnny? We were a little skeptical. Let's be honest. We were like, I don't know. We got to wait and stuff like that. Because the media did what they always did, fam. article after article, and this is all within the last 3 days. Article. Can we get some of these up? The LA Times. If Russia didn't cook up the Seth Rich conspiracy, our fake news economy would have. And then this is Seth Rich conspiracy was planted by Russian intel. This is the other day. This is on the 9th. Give me another one. Don't blame the Seth Rich conspiracy on Russians. Blame Americans. I mean, Washington Post. And now look at this one here. Russian trolls planted Seth Rich conspiracy, and they talk about it. Fam, they don't want us talking about this.
They want to make it so you seem like crazy, unreliable, tinfoil wearing people that don't know what they're talking about. And that's exactly why I know there's truth to that, because they're trying so hard to make us look like we're crazy. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with people, especially on Facebook, that's a little bit more centrist, where people are like, oh, Joe Rogan, yeah, he's off his rocker. Oh, he's a racist. Oh, he defends racists. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about,
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, no, dude, no. I can listen to people independently and make my own conclusions. I don't care if he has right-wingers on his show, because you know what? We need to talk to these people, even if they're people I loathe and I don't agree with. We can't shut people out. And when you do that, you cocoon yourself in this little hole where you're only listening to your echo chamber, and then you go on and you run for president and you lose because you completely cut everybody else off. And that's not me saying that that what's going on with the immigration issue is something to be mocked or isn't an important issue. But it is because I want to stop that issue that we need to sit and talk to each other and stop acting like just because this is something new that you can't really wrap your head around, that it's some sort of conspiracy theory.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm just upset because now that I know that Russia is like controlling my thought process, the other day I was going to have oatmeal and instead I had Apple Jacks. Fucking Russians.
I can't believe that.
Fucking Russians. And let's talk about this real quick. Let's show this Julian Assange video, because the one man who doesn't have to retract any stories from his network, that being the WikiLeaks Foundation, Julian Assange, almost gave a heads up. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of you people saw this, but let's play this out there when you ask the real person who gave him the information. Check it out.
Donald Trump has had a disastrous few weeks. If you look at the polls, he needs a miracle. In the American political lexicon, there's such a thing as the October surprise. The stuff that you're sitting on, is an October surprise in there? Do you even know what you're sitting on?
WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material, and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So
that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it?
No, there's no finding. So
what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
But why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington?
Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are, our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity.
Wow.
He pretty much told you it was Seth Rich.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty much told you it was
first of
Seth
all,
Rich.
a journalist, if their source says, I don't want to be revealed, and if it's crucial to your work that they not be revealed, you are not going to reveal your source.
Yeah.
You sit, you don't necessarily sit on the information, but you sit on the identification of your source. And that's exactly what he's doing. But in other words, he is literally saying, this is what happens. These are the stakes when we have all of this information against the government and about the government lying to all of you. And these are the measures that they will go to make sure that information doesn't get out.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard to believe.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I know it's hard to let all this. It's cognitive dissonance. It's, again, like all this new information is coming in, and it just makes you feel powerless, and it makes you feel like, then what the hell is the point of everything?
Yeah.
If all these people
Yeah.
are psychopaths or in control of the world, so what's the point? The point is that everything is falling apart right now, and when everything falls apart, the good thing is that they lose control. Yeah. And so they are losing control, and they know it. And because of the internet and because of the communities that we are building and we have built and we will continue to build, we are putting the pieces together.
That's what Michael Cruz just said. Putting the pieces together.
Wow. See, we're connected. See,
our audience, we are so connected.
Telepathically.
I really got to say that we are connected to our audience. Today's show is really, it was scared. And you could just see me right now because I even said to Nico this morning, we had our meeting. I said, what's the sense of even doing this shit anymore? These fucking elites, these psychopaths, they're going to fucking, I mean, they don't even care. And I was also a little bit nervous, but you guys gave me also the strength with Fiorella to go ahead and talk about this stuff because you guys are out there saying the things that are on our mind. You guys are sending us the information, and we love you for it. And before we get to the super chat, I just want to point out that Chris Cuomo is a piece of shit. He is persona non grata in the Italian world. That's what I say about you. You millionaire piece of shit. You're just a voice piece of the elites. And look what this fucking douchebag said. Excuse me for cursing. Because, Chris Cuomo, you've been exposed.
4 months before the 2016 election, a 27-year-old DNC staffer is murdered on his way home from a bar. Police investigate and conclude it was a botched robbery. The young man's name, Seth Rich. You know the name, but why you know it goes to the ugliest kind of BS conspiracy spin there is. Fox was all over this, along with fringe righty sites, hollow notions that deserve no repeating here. Why did they do it? To distract from Russian interference, to tar Hillary Clinton. But now, Michael Isikoff with Yahoo News, friend of the show, reports that at the root of all of their efforts was Russia. He spoke to a former federal prosecutor who worked on the case. She says 3 days after Seth Rich was killed, Russian intelligence agents planted a phony report saying that he was gunned down by assassins working for Clinton. BS, amplified by the same troll farms that pumped out propaganda disguised as real Americans in the lead up to the election.
She got positive because
if you still believe in Russiagate conspiracy theorists, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. And I'm going to flat out say that because it is very clear that they are using this as their ammunition for anything you say, not only against the government, but specifically against the Democratic Party, specifically against the Clinton Foundation, which has nefarious ties to a multitude of things that we can't even begin to go into. And this is not because I dislike Hillary Clinton. This is because this is just the truth. And if I didn't laugh right then when he connected it to Russia, I would have just wanted to punch him in the face because he's literally mocking this guy's life, and making America feel like they're idiots to even consider that this has any ties, even though logically, of course, it makes sense that he was murdered for giving information that they didn't want him to give. That makes a lot more sense than a botched robbery where they didn't take anything.
Yeah. And Chris Cuomo is worth how much? He's worth $9 million income salaries, $2.5 million a year.
How much does he get paid per appearance?
Oh God, I think it's close to $30,000.
So why does America? Why is everyone anybody going to believe a guy that gets paid millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Over people that are sitting here doing this for free?
Yeah.
No.
He gets paid by the owners. You know who the owners are?
Most highly paid anchor in CNN.
Yeah, he's the highest paid, and he sits there and says, "How dare you?"
The nerve.
For the nerve. How can
him.
you say this stuff for the family? This poor family. Let
How
them go on.
How can he stand there and lie and pretend that this isn't a thing?
Yeah.
How dare you, Chris Cuomo, have the nerve to fucking say that about someone?
Just we have a super chat from Brandon Schaefer, I can't even say it.
Schaefer, probably.
On MCSC
Schaefer.
Network.
Just want to say it's on the MCSC network. Just want to say the show is an absolute must-watch for any progressive. Thank you so much for the work you do. Thrilled to have found you guys. We're thrilled that you found us
Thank
too,
you.
Brandon. Ladies and gentlemen from the MCSC Network, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Go over to our Convo Couch YouTube and help us out. Nico says it would be a good thing for us. We love our Neeks. He's going to do some follow-up stuff on this stuff. We've been talking a lot about it. It's time to start pulling the mask back. So we have owners. We know the media is trying to control you because the media, they use the media in every single country to control public opinion. Okay, and that's what they're trying to do. Don't let them do it. It's okay for you if you believe that Seth Rich was part of doing this. Say it.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be questioning it. We might not know for sure, but we should question the government no matter what. And they've been trying to attack Nico. They did it in the Huffington Post about this stuff. Nico's not saying this stuff is true or not. He's saying that you should question the government no matter what. And Epstein shows it, and Seth Rich shows it. Question no matter what. I'm going to read a super chat. Let's play the little quick of George Carlin real quick, maybe. And then we'll get into the next subject, or should we go right into it?
I think we should go into it. I just want to emphasize when Julian Assange definitely nodded his head here.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, things occurring like that.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
right there.
Right there. Did you see the nod?
Nods his head.
Did you see the nod?
Yeah.
He nodded.
And the look. Like, yeah.
He's
Come
not.
on.
He just
You're killing me here. How much
We
more
don't
can I
What do you need? What do you need? And you know what I'm saying? But you're going to listen to Chris Cuomo, who says, none of that BS over here. It's terrible. I look forward to taking your job, asshole, when they throw all of you mainstream media puppets,
should be in jail.
lapdogs out of there. You guys should be in fucking jail for extending their propaganda. It says, Giovanna Liviana says, Russia was not the root of the story. Julian Assange let a hint slip during an interview. The MSM is still trying to cover for Hillary, and we showed that hint right there, that slip right there. I'm sorry, I'm a little worked up and emotional. I usually like reading stuff, but right now it's like I really do feel overwhelmed with a lot of the shit that's going on because it's a different time. Remember, you couldn't talk about AIPAC 3 years ago because Ilhan Omar says some stuff. Now we're openly talking, say, wait a second, AIPAC is full of shit. You know, those of us who knew, but we would not say it in the public sphere because we were looked at as conspiracy theorists or anti-Semitic. That's what this stuff is going on, and you people out there have given us the strength to do that. Fee, I know you got to get on to some other stuff. I'm sorry if I took so